What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nacho Wrestling. Boy, did my TKO problem video age like curdled milk. As you can tell by the title of the video, I am breaking up with the WWE. And before you look at the thumbnail and try to analyze it and be like, oh, well, it's because of the Brock Lesnar thing. He thinks Brock Lesnar's guilty. Oh, Brock Lesnar's not guilty. He was cleared by WWE's legal team. Calm down. Chill out. Never said that. I don't even, I care about that. Okay? Don't get it twisted. But what I don't care about is Brock Lesnar. I just don't have any sort of appeal for him whatsoever. I don't see the reason to bring him back on TV constantly. Ever since he lost to Roman at SummerSlam in 2022 and could no longer challenge for the title again, you know, my thought process is, why the fuck are you here? That's just me personally. You know, I know a lot of people see Brock Lesnar and they go, oh my god, Brock Lesnar, he's so awesome. To each their own, I guess. But like I said, there's a lot of other reasons why I am breaking up with the WWE, and we're going to talk about all those reasons why in today's video. So be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell to stay updated on all things Nacho Wrestling, and share this video with your friends. And if this is your first time watching a Nacho Wrestling video, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, and your help would be greatly appreciated. With that out of the way, let's talk about why I'm breaking up with the WWE. Most importantly, I want to make it clear that no matter what Brock Lesnar's legal situation is in the case, whether he's being sued or not being sued, I think any decent human being is going to look at the reprehensible things that Vince McMahon did and said and made Janelle Grant do and just feel so terrible for her, for that young lady, and want her to get the right justice that she deserves. I mean, if you don't think that, you're kind of a piece of shit. Not kind of, you are a piece of shit. Like, you're a monster. I don't know how you read that stuff, think it's just baseless allegations when she's got hella receipts to prove it, and you just, brush it off. You know, the whole Brock Lesnar of it all, the bigger thing for me is that he's named 44 times. 4-4. That's insane. His name is plastered all over it. He might as well have done something. Whether he's guilty or not guilty isn't the problem. It's the fact that his name is tied to the case still because of how often he's brought up. And all you have to do is look up Brock Lesnar, and one of the second search results you get is Brock Lesnar, Janelle Grant. So before I move any further, I just want to say justice for Janelle Grant. She deserves one day, hopefully sooner rather than later, to get the proper justice against the WWE. This reason, more than anything, is honestly why I'm taking a break. Just the way they've treated the whole situation, the way Triple H can never answer a fucking question to save his life about the lawsuit and about the goings-on of it and everything like that. It hurts my soul. It really does, because wrestling is a cancerous culture, don't get me wrong. And I feel like this is a good time to say that AEW is got its fair share of bad apples too. You know, they have Sammy Guevara, who's, you know, been quoted as saying a lot of terrible things about a fellow employee when she was member of the WWE roster in Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné. You know, that's just one example of some of the scumbags that AEW has hired. So, wrestling is just a scumbag-esque world. Whether it's wrestling content creators, or whether it's wrestlers themselves, or whether it's the promoters, you know, they're everywhere. And it kind of comes with the territory, and you got to work your way around it. Janelle Grant really does just deserve justice, and I don't know what better way to explain that. I truly don't. So why now? Why am I taking a break now? Yes, the Brock Lesnar return of it all really was the straw that broke the camel's back. Compounded with all of that is stuff that stems back all the way as far as 2018, 2019, if we're being completely honest. You look at the stuff with Saudi Arabia and their dealings and how ads are plastered everywhere now on TV for Riyadh season. It's almost as if WWE headquarters should be in Saudi Arabia at this point. It's a little disingenuous. You know, you preach all this, especially back in 2018, 2019, when they were a bit more progressive, so to speak. They were like all the stuff with the reporter, you know, that was assassinated and everything like that. And then like the plane that never took off, all that fishy shit. You know, it's a relationship that gives and gives and gives in terms of not entertainment value, because I sometimes do fear for the wrestlers, like especially the more recent pay-per-views they've done over there. So that's one thing that really has been an issue. Another issue is the inconsistent booking, you know, just booking for viral moments. Like, I think one of the greatest examples is the stuff they did with R-Truth. Like, you bring him back, or you release him, and then you are like, no, we're gonna bring him back, but he's Ron Killings now. And then like 2 weeks later, he's already back to being called R-Truth. Like, what the fuck? The Logan Paul stuff, all booked because of virality. It reeks of desperation. It reeks of, please accept us, please, you know, we're mainstream, we want to be mainstream, we're cool, we can be cool, you know, it's cool to wear wrestling shirts again. Like, well, if it's cool to make wrestling shirts, then you'd make some cool merch. Another major thing for me personally, and this one is definitely a sensitive subject for some people, is the slow IV drip of MAGA culture that they've been insinuating into the product over the past couple of months since this current administration has come into power. One thing you can kind of give Vince credit for, towards the tail end of his run at least, is he kept it as apolitical as possible. And now with like Triple H being on the Commission for Health and Wellness for Young Children and whatnot, which we'll talk about in a second because there's a really big issue with that one. It sucks. The El Grande Americano stuff fucking stinks. I don't like it personally. I understand the entertainment value of it, but what they're doing now with like the 3 El Grande Americanos, and none of them are Chad Gable, and it's essentially, you know, what the new Imperium should be, but isn't. Like, oh my god, put a gun to my head, please get rid of it. This also is going to be another hot topic issue, but I do believe that AEW's kind of on the upswing compared to WWE right now. I think a lot of stuff they've been doing, I think a lot of good publicity surrounding All In Texas was a big thing that helped them, especially in this latter half of the year. They're doing a lot of good stuff story-wise. They're not doing the traditional booking that WWE has been doing for the past 20, 30 years. But if you've been watching AEW for quite some time, like I have, you've noticed that their booking style has evolved. It's become more refined. And if you watch regularly from a week-to-week basis, the booking style makes sense. It truly does. It's just they implement so much more wrestling into their product that I think it's sort of a sensory overload issue for some fans. Again, I want to reiterate, do not get me wrong. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not saying AEW is perfect. I'm not saying AEW has no terrible people on their payroll. Of course, like I said earlier, wrestling is an inherent cancerous society, and there's going to be shitbag human pieces of garbage hired in almost every promotion, in every facet of the business, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. A couple more minor things. I've already mentioned the Saudi Arabia stuff, which has been going on for like almost 8 years, 9 years at this point. Hulk Hogan, not necessarily the passing away and the celebration of his life. I get that. Do it. You know what? Whatever. He did a lot for professional wrestling. If wrestling didn't succeed the way it did back in the 80s with Hogan, would I even be able to sit here and make videos about it for fun in my free time? No, probably not. So, while he is a racist piece of shit, garbage human being who openly takes pictures with Nazis or took pictures with Nazis, he did a lot for wrestling. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. I mentioned briefly how Triple H is working on that Youth Health Sports Commission for Trump and everything like that. And while, whatever, you know, I guess the company that's sponsored by Mike's Harder and Slim Jim and Minute Maid and Papa John's, you know, definitely should be on the Youth Health Commission. It's being headed up by Lawrence Taylor, which, yes, WrestleMania main eventer LT, but also registered sex offender LT. I mean, it just, ew, why would you want your name associated with that? Like, why would, I don't know. I genuinely don't, who would want to be tied to that? It's the CCO of the WWE standing next to a registered sex offender. Two more really small things, really small. Def Rebel apparently uses AI to make their music now, which is not only lazy, but lacks any sort of creative zest for life. The few theme songs they have outsourced are fucking phenomenal, and shows why WWE should just shell out the money to outsource the music rather than bring sex offenders like Brock Lesnar back to the company. And lastly, one thing that I've never personally enjoyed is their desperation attempts at getting content creators and live streamers to react a certain way to their product to entice other people to think the product is good. I think a lot of people know that like guys like Santi and Conman and I could name others, but I don't want to. All these like, BDE, all these guys getting paid to react this way, you know. It's very obvious that they are, because like who the fuck is getting excited over Top Dollar showing up in NXT? Will I still cover WWE? Yes and no. I won't cover the current product anymore, at least for the future time being, but I will talk about it in retrospectively. I do have a current video planned about how the WWE Network has changed the entire landscape of wrestling and how we consume it as a product, which I will still do that because it does also play into effect of how AEW as a product is consumed. So I can still do retrospective videos like I've done in the past, and, you know, maybe videos on specific superstars and anything like that like I've done. But as it stands, the current product is a no-go for me. Well, that is it for today's video. Be civil in the comments. That's all I'm gonna ask. I'm open to some friendly discussion. I'm open to civil discourse. But if you are completely abhorrent and disgusting and just downright rude in the comments, I'm gonna block you and ban you and never allow you to show up here on the channel again, because I don't need that type of negative energy. Nobody wants that type of negative energy. But like I said, let me know what you guys thought about this video down in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling. And I will see you guys next time.